Hello pianists! Today we are going to have some fun improvising or creating on D and A major chords. I'll explain how to read through a lead sheet and I'll talk through how to improvise on these different chords. So this video is designed for complete beginners to lead sheets in a common key of D major. I'll have some later videos which will explain how to be more advanced with chord inversions, but today we'll just start with the basics. So this music that you see is an example of what musicians call a lead sheet. This can be a melody that can be sung by the pianist or by someone else. You can play lead sheets in a whole band ensemble, but they're fun because there's a lot of creative liberties that the pianist can have. So we always look at that pyramid of musical learning of our time signature and our key signature. Let's start with the time signature of 3/4, meaning 3 beats in each measure. Fastest notes are quarter notes, slowest are the dotted half notes. So pretty easy rhythm on that. I'll play just a little bit of the melody. And I have another video which has that melody at 2 different tempos, one for a practice at 76, one at a performance tempo at 108. But play the melody, just sight read it yourself so you can get a sense of what kind of melody am I accompanying, what's the style. It has slurs, it's lyrical, it's a pretty melody. That gives you some ideas of what to do with your accompaniment patterns. The next signature we'll look at is our key. Notice I have 2 sharps now. Look at your last sharp when you're presented with multiple sharps. That last sharp, play it on your piano as a C sharp. That landmark C, up a half step, is D major. Remember, the last sharp of a key signature is the leading tone of a scale. Warm up in your scale of D major. Just to start thinking in your key. All right, now that we've gone through our signatures, let's just talk through, as the pianist, how do you interpret these lead sheets? So keeping in mind that this melody will be provided by someone else. What we're going to play is the accompaniment part, the chords. They're the smallest part of this lead sheet, but that's what we have to interpret. So I see a D chord. When you see the letter D above the staff, that means a D major root position chord, meaning we play it all stacked in thirds. We're going to play all of our chords in root position to start. Later we'll get into inversions. The third measure uses an A. That's an A major chord. The nice thing is both of these chords are from that group level 2. White, black, white, white, black, white triad. So they feel the same. They're a fourth or a fifth apart. With the chords, you as the pianist get to decide where on the piano you get to play them. If I look at my melody, this is above middle C. I don't want to interfere with the area where the performer would be singing that melody or playing it on their instrument. I want to bring it down to below middle C for my hands. Next thing we need to interpret is how often to change chords. Notice measure 2 has nothing written above it. What we do is we stay on the chord until a new one is written. So to demonstrate this idea, I'm going to play the melody in my right hand. My left hand's going to block chords. As the pianist practicing along, I want you to practice blocking those chords. Tap your foot so you get a sense of the rhythm. Here it is. 1, ready, D major. 2, 3. A major. Stay on D. A major. To a D. Move early to A. Here's a D major chord. First practice blocked chords on the downbeat, just on beat 1, hold it for 3 beats, along with that recording that I have for you. Now let's get into the fun of what to do to improvise on these chords. All right, now into the improv. This is where you get to be creative, and the sky is really the limit. We could have hours of videos on just different accompaniment patterns, but I'm going to start with some beginning ones for pianist. So again, find your position of D chords below middle C. In the lower octaves, close intervals of thirds don't sound the best, so I would suggest that you use a spacious fifth of D to A, and your left hand could just cover bass notes. Whenever I have a D chord, 1, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, A, 2, 3, D. You can just play bass notes only in the left hand. Maybe you just start there with that recording. Once you're ready to add another step, the right hand can do more rhythmic ideas. So I'm going to choose to play an arpeggiated chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3, A major, back to D, 1, 5, repeat the D. some patterns that you like, that you feel confident on, you can play those. Sometimes people think in improv, I have to change my pattern every measure. That is not so. Find a couple patterns you like, stick with them. You can vary between a couple of them. All right, let me give you some other patterns. Let's say your left hand would like to arpeggiate more. Notice I am playing eighth notes for my pattern. Keep track of your 3, 4. I'm going to play those fifths in my left hand, right hand arpeggiated chords. 2 and 3 and 1. Move while the other hand's playing. Fifth chord. Remember, you can change the direction of your chords. Pattern that you could play. You could also just stick with block chords, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, and then arpeggiate later. 2 and 3 and 1. I'm starting on the third of the chord. Stay on D, 13. 14 and A major. So those are just some patterns. You might just pause it there and write down what you had seen on this the page there or on the screen, and you could just practice finding your own patterns that you like. Again, there's many more you could add in there. Let's hear it all together. Remember that recording before. I'm going to push play on that BPM of 76. I'm going to just try out some different patterns. I'm going to stay in root position. You got to move your hands while the other one is playing. That way you can just vary your movements. Always keep going in accompaniments. You can't stop and make your soloist come back and find you. So you as the accompanist, follow them. If you feel like you might play too loud, you can lighten up your touch to a piano touch, or if you have a soft pedal, which is the left pedal on a lot of pianos, that will just help you play softer than that solo part. All right, let's put all of this together now. I'm going to push play on that recording for our practice tempo at 76, which is about an adagio tempo. I'm going to play those different accompaniment patterns that we practiced and worked along with. So remember, we've got a 3 measure, or 3 beat rather, count off for our introduction. So get ready for that intro. Ready?